All right. Yes, yes. If you could only hear the conversations off the air, guys, only, I'd be in big trouble. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. So much going on. Of course, it's Friday, which means open phones, open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game. And, of course, what I'm going to get into in just a bit is Joe Biden confessed live on the air to crimes. Right? Now we have 3 stashes that we know of, right? There's 3 stashes of Biden classified documents that were in his possession illegally and not secure. And we only know about the 3rd one because Joe Biden, in his press conference, confessed to it yesterday. So this is just absolutely amazing. Mike, I'm hearing like echo, and it is just beautiful, beautiful. You know, the question really is no longer, will Joe Biden complete his term? The question is, how long until Joe Biden is forced to resign? I'm serious. How long will it be until Joe Biden is forced to resign? And I'll tell you, it's not going to be easy. Joe Biden has been a corrupt public official his entire life. I'm hearing a bit of an echo in my headphones, Mike. I don't know if it's going out on the air. I don't know if it's on the air or not, though. And you go to someone who's been corrupt and a criminal their entire life, in their entire life holding public office, and you go to them and you tell them, you're in trouble. You've got to resign. You've done this crime. We have multiple instances of it. And that's assuming we don't even find out about others. It'll take a lot of convincing to tell someone like Joe Biden, who's been getting away with being a corrupt public official his entire life, that he's going to have to resign. You know, Richard Nixon always had the establishment against him. They were always against Richard Nixon from the checker speech days and till his last days, okay? So he never got away with anything, Richard Nixon. So he was used to being held accountable all the time and having to explain himself and everything else. Joe Biden isn't. You know, I saw a quote in the news a week or 2 ago from a Ukrainian general who said only about 15% of the American money that's being passed for Ukraine relief is getting to Ukraine. Now, that means the other 85% of it is going to earmarks, donors, right? Kickbacks, bribes, payoffs, all these things. And all the money isn't distributed at once. And so, and the same goes for the omnibus bill. If Joe Biden, we're told he had to resign today, he's got millions of dollars in deals, maybe even more, that haven't come through yet. So he's going to walk away. So I really, at this point, and I don't think I'm alone with this, I'll throw this out to you guys. I think Joe Biden is going to be forced to resign from office over this. This is some hardcore criminal activity, especially after his confession with the 3rd stash yesterday that he screwed up with, and he was talking to Ducey. After the first break, I'm going to play that exchange. 3 stashes. And then when he said that they were locked up in his garage next to the Corvette, I'll play the audio, we'll go through it. Photographs of him pulling out of the garage in the Corvette show the boxes of the classified documents. They're not secure. It's as messy as anyone else's garage. Old boxes that are not sealed, papers all over the place. And, of course, who has access to that? But, of course, Hunter Biden. And we know Hunter Biden has access to the garage because Joe Biden did an interview with Jay Leno on his car show showing off his Corvette, and he talked about how Hunter was in the garage working on the vet. So you have Hunter Biden in the garage where these things are supposedly secure when he has no security clearance. I mean, this is not a mess. This is good stuff. And the reality is that Willie Brown's girlfriend is going to be the 47th president of the United States, which means Donald Trump will be the 45th and 48th president of the United States. But Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris, is going to be the 47th president of the United States. It's only a matter of time now. And it's a beautiful thing. And we'll talk about that. I'll get into the details. I do want to talk just a moment here before the first break about the passing of Lisa Marie Presley, who, this has been a bad week, right? We lost Diamond from Diamond and Silk, Adam Rich from 8 is Enough, and now Lisa Marie Presley. And I'm just going to say this about Lisa Marie Presley. This new Elvis movie killed her, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Lisa Marie Presley, who lost her son to suicide not long ago, terrible thing. Lisa Marie Presley has a long history of addiction issues, okay? And just like Adam Rich, and this is just my opinion. I mean, this hasn't been reported anywhere. But this new Elvis movie, which I saw, and I thought the guy was pretty good, although the movie's a little weird, but the movie was good, and of course the guy that plays Elvis is amazing. But with this new Elvis movie, you've got someone who's been a recovered addict their entire life, who's back in the world of A-list celebrities for the last year. And that means drugs and who knows what else. And this new great Elvis movie, in my opinion, killed Lisa Marie Presley. This happened to Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. Those new Star Wars movies they did a few years ago killed her. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. If you go and I'm a big Star Wars fan, I'm one of those people that actually read Carrie Fisher's autobiography, which is very good. She's one of the most honest writers you've ever read. I mean, she tells it all. And before these new Star Wars movies came out, she was broke. In fact, she was so broke, she didn't even have credit cards. And Carrie Fisher said when she got these new Star Wars movies, she was able to get her credit cards back, and she went shopping. And she had a windfall of money from those Star Wars reboots. And what did she do? She's a lifelong drug addict. She started doing drugs, and those new Star Wars movies killed Carrie Fisher because she got hooked on drugs, okay? And that's what I think happened to Lisa Marie. This new movie got her, I don't know if she had a windfall of cash like Carrie Fisher. She might have always had some Elvis money, I don't know. But she was back in that A-list celebrity circle where there's lots of drugs and things like this. So this great new movie probably is what killed Lisa Marie Presley, because the worst thing you can do is when you have someone who's a drug addict, even if they're recovered, right, is money, give them money, right? That's what happened to Carrie Fisher, or put them in a circle where everyone's doing drugs, which is what's probably been going on with Lisa Marie Presley over the last year, that she's been going to all these celebrity events with young A-list celebrities with the promotion of this new movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, or you watch it again, that movie killed Lisa Marie Presley. Terrible thing, terrible thing. All right, we'll take our first break. We'll come back and get into the Biden stuff, and there's a lot to get into. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Yeah, what was causing that? What was...
There was the next one. It's got to be the program.
Oh, okay.
The person last night probably...
Okay. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
I was trying to, because I kept hearing the radio from in the other room.
Yeah.
So loud and to hear that, so I went over there to try to stop it. I just closed the door.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. You guys, what do you think about my Lisa Marie the movie killed her? You guys agree, disagree with that? I mean, that's what happens. I mean, it's terrible. No.
Dr. Appleton is rabbi recommended. So now he's got rabbinical supervision. I have to really thank you. After one time, from crying to me on the phone, sleeping like a baby that night. Do what Rabbi David did. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might...
Oh, yeah, the sun didn't help, yeah.
Allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North
North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call
No, it's sad. It's almost like losing Elvis, isn't it? Oh, my goodness.
954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009.
That's what happens. You know, and those new Star Wars movies suck, and that's what got Carrie Fisher. It's awful.
Make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445.
Oh, I, of course, love Elvis Presley. Are you kidding me? Yeah. My mother saw him in concert during the white suit phase of Elvis.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. Callers on hold, stand by. You know, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Steve Kane and I leave on our Steve Kane 2023 MAGA cruise. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we leave on a Saturday to Saturday. In fact, next weekend, I'm going with Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. We're going to take a tour of the sister ship of the ship we're taking our cruise on. And the main reason for that is we're taking a tour of our ship's sister ship so that we can get a layout of the venues and all the activities we have planned on our ship, because the ships are identical. But 2 weeks from tomorrow, we leave on our Steve Kane Show 2023 MAGA cruise. And there are some open cabins, but not many. Some of the cabin levels are sold out. And what's left, I don't know. I know that I was trying to upgrade my cabin and Steve's cabin, and the next level up from what we have was full. Steve and I are in the concierge class of cabins, and the next one up is aqua class, and the aqua class is filled up. But what level of cabins are available and how many, I have no idea. But call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. He'll tell you. And those of you that are going with us on the cruise, you give him a call too, because we're planning a lot of activities and everything, and it would save us a lot of headache on the ship on our end if you call Ian before the cruise, like you gave him a call today, and touch base with him so we can go over some of the activities and everything, especially our first night when we sail away together. We have a sail away party. And that's usually one of the most exciting events, because it's the last time you see everybody in the group sober at the same time. But give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call. Here's his number, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Now, again, I don't know what's left. I don't know what type of cabins are left. I know the aqua class are filled, or Steve and I would be in the aqua class. But give them a call, and if there's some availability, join us. You're going to have a great time. 561-244-5779. That's Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Okay, so if you're on hold, stand by. Biden confessed. We found out yesterday about a second stash of illegally held classified documents at Biden's house in Delaware, in the garage. And then Ducey from Fox News channels going back and forth with Biden, and Biden screwed up and confessed about another stash of documents in his home library in Delaware. So there are 3 stashes that we know about. You know, Biden keeps talking about his attorneys found these documents. He had the attorneys search for them. Has anyone asked whether or not his attorneys have top secret security clearance? Are they even allowed to see in these documents and handle them? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. No one's asking. I'm asking. But let me get to this. So this is Ducey from Fox News with Biden yesterday, and in this, we get the confession of the third stash of classified documents.
We work together. So God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
Now, this is what I love. This is what I love. You don't see this with Democrats very often. In fact, the last time I saw this with a Democrat president was during the Lewinsky affair with Bill Clinton. When you have the press going nuts like this to a Democrat president, that is a very rare thing, and that means he's in big trouble because the press are all over this. Usually, the liberal mainstream White House press corps, when there's a Democrat in the White House, they're in the business of protecting them, covering up. You don't hear this very often.
Classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, look, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage. Okay, so it's not like you're sitting out in the street. But at any rate, yes, as well as my Corvette.
Okay, a couple things about that. First off, this guy's such a sleazeball, as well as my Corvette. This guy, he's like Burt Reynolds and Boogie Nights, a mix between the Colonel and Burt Reynolds and Boogie Nights. Okay, my Corvette. This guy is such a sleaze. All he's thinking about is sex with women. He thinks that women are turned on and attracted to him because he's got that Corvette. That's exactly what he's doing. Now, he said locked garage right next to my Corvette. Ladies, you want to ride in the vet? And now we see the photograph of the open boxes with documents all over the garage right next to the Corvette, which, by the way, he told Jay Leno Hunter Biden was in all the time. All right, back to this. So this is Ducey with Biden yesterday.
But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents from my time as vice president were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings and storage areas in file cabinets in my home and my personal library.
Okay, boom. That's Biden's confession of the third stash of classified documents. We knew about the fake think tank office. We knew about the garage, and now his home office / library. I guess that's where he keeps his Playboys, well-read Playboys, I'm sure. So now he just confessed to the third stash of illegal documents. This is amazing.
Discovered a small number of documents of classified markings and storage areas in file cabinets in my home and my personal library. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn Center. The Department of Justice was immediately, as was done, the Department of Justice was immediately notified, and the lawyers arranged for the Department of Justice to take possession of the document. So we're going to see all this unfold. I'm confident.
Yeah. And that's the press going nutso in the background, which you rarely hear with Democrat presidents. This is amazing. So he confessed to the third stash. And, I mean, as I said right at the top, right now, it's not if he will complete his term. It's when will he resign. When will Biden resign and make Willie Brown's girlfriend the 47th president of the United States? She may also be the shortest president we've had. She's got a lot of firsts. Shortest president, first minority, first woman, first Indian American, first African American, first Caribbean American. She's going to check off a lot of boxes. She's only 5 foot tall, 5'1", something like that. I don't know. She's very short, Kamala Harris. She wears heels. Oh, man. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. There's only one opening on the board. We're coming up on our bottom of the hour break. I'll go to the phones right after the break. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. And remember, on Fridays, it is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday, which I did not come up with that label. Christine in Pennsylvania, one of our listeners who's in our YouTube live chat room, that was her idea. I can't credit you with it every time I say it or every week, Christine, but from time to time I will. Open MAGA Mike Friday, every Friday on the program. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You're not limited to the topics that Steve and I bring up. However, I hope that you have some opinions on what's going on here. Do you believe Joe Biden will resign and make Willie Brown's girlfriend the 47th president of the United States? We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. One opening on the board. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show.
What do you guys think? Yes or no? Will Biden be forced to resign? Yes or no? Who's going to turn that down? No. Really? Wow. More no's than yeps. Wow. She was born in California, Kamala Harris, and when she was in elementary school, her parents split. Her mother took her to Canada. And she stayed in Canada until she came back to America to go to college. Wow. Not very many yeses. No, there's no pass here. This is big. This is so big. I'm surprised. Oh, he's going to get impeached over this. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Even if he resigns, they'll impeach him, since we have these post-presidential impeachment precedent that Pelosi signed. I've been up since 1 in the morning. My dog woke me up today crying. I'm like, what is going on? And she had to go outside really bad. So once I'm up, I can't go back to sleep because how early I get up. So I've been up since 1 a.m.
BBKC's Lunch with a Legend series, enjoy an intimate lunch with legendary sports stars like Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie on February 7th and golf great Gary Player April 17th. Play your favorite casino table games like three-card poker or Ultimate Texas Hold'em with just a $5 minimum.
Oh no, he'll be forced to resign. This is big. No, nothing happens when you're impeached. There's not enough votes to remove. No president has been removed from office in the Senate trials. Yeah, McCarthy turned out to be all right. Hopefully, I'll get into some of that as the show goes on. Oh, believe me, they're talking about resignation. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. By the way, everyone who subbed to my mother-in-law's channel, thank you guys. We got her over 1,100 subs yesterday. She's over 1,100. So that is really awesome. You guys, thank you so much, who subbed to my mother-in-law's YouTube channel. Yeah, Nixon was forced by his own party. Well, Biden is being pressured by his own party, too, these liberals in the press.
Rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is, Biden's in big trouble. He's in big trouble. Now we got 3 stashes, who knows what else. And they still haven't gotten to what the documents are, which we'll never know. Because they're classified, we're never going to know exactly what the documents are. Well, Nixon had something that Biden didn't, honor. Nixon was a good guy. He got railroaded. He didn't do much of anything. They make such a big deal over Nixon. Nixon was a good man. You going to Graceland? I've never been to Graceland. I've been to Memphis when I was a kid, but never to Graceland. I know, it's almost like losing Elvis again. Yeah, yes or no, do you remember when Elvis died? I was really young. I remember seeing the funeral on television. You know, the cars, the motorcade of the hearse and everything. I was 6. It may have been 5, depending on what month it was. But it's a blur. I can remember seeing the hearses on TV.
When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost.
77, that's right. August, yeah, I was 6.
Work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. Brighton Dental Care.
And then I can remember, see if any of you remember this, when John Lennon died, they had a 1 minute of silence on every radio station in the country. Do you guys remember that? All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. I was just asking people during the break in our chat room if they remember. Lisa Marie sadly passed away. Do they remember when Elvis died? When Elvis died, I was 6 years old. So all I remember about Elvis dying is I remember watching the motorcade with the hearse on television. I was at my grandparents' house and they had it on. I remember that vaguely. You know, just it's kind of a blur. I was 6, but I knew who Elvis Presley was. He was so famous at 6 years old. I knew who he was. And I remember seeing the motorcade with the hearse and the funeral procession on television. And then, of course, when John Lennon died, you know, Lisa Marie Presley dying it's almost like losing Elvis again. It really kind of feels that way, doesn't it? It's really sad. And, of course, when John Lennon was killed, I want to say 1 minute. I could be off on this, but when John Lennon died, every radio station in America had a moment of silence. And I remember that. I was in the car. I don't know how long the moment was. Was it a minute? Was it 30 seconds? Was it 10 seconds? Anyone remember that when John Lennon died? Every radio station in America, AM and FM, had a moment of silence when John Lennon died. I just can't remember. I can't remember how long that moment was. Was it just a moment? Was it 30 seconds? Was it a minute? A minute popped in my mind. Anyway, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
Hey, Brian. You know, one good thing that's coming out about this is there are some news media people screaming about this classified information and now the subsequent more, but they're going to drop the investigation of Trump's classified information and not do any type of prosecution because now it would be clear evidence of hypocrisy.
Not hypocrisy. You're talking about Democrats, all right? They have no shame. They're shameless. Well, now this is what I think is going to happen, okay? And I could be very wrong about this, but I don't think I'm alone in this. I think Joe Biden is going to be forced at some point to resign over this, okay? This is a big deal, big deal. And after he resigns over this, there's not going to be a prosecution. They're not going to prosecute him. You know, the only president that ever comes close to that is Trump. But they'll say, since it rose to the level, the classified documents, that Biden had to resign, that means Trump can't run. Because he'd have to resign immediately upon winning. That's what that's how twisted, that's how sick these people are.
I'll go a step farther. Maybe they planned this to use this against Trump to run. But I don't think...
You could be right about that. You never know. You could be right about that, yeah.
Yeah, I really do, Brian. But I believe that the Supreme Court is going to uphold President Trump's right to run for president.
Oh, yeah.
He did because they're not going to not let him run for president.
10 minutes now.
Did I say that right?
You did say that right. Someone just said, again, this was a long time. John Lennon died in 1980, right? I was 9. And someone just told me that when the radio stations around America had silence for John Lennon, it was 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I don't remember. I remember I was in the car with my mom when they did it, because I remember we knew it was coming. Do you remember when this happened, Jeff? You're old enough to remember when John Lennon died.
I was 17. I was a senior in high school, and I remember hearing that he was murdered, but I don't remember anything else. I wasn't a big Beatles fan, so, you know.
I just cannot. I just cannot imagine that there was dead air on every radio station in America for 10 minutes. But that's what everyone's telling. I think I know it may say online 10 minutes, but I think I'd remember that. I remember very clearly counting down to when it was going to happen. Whatever time of day, whatever day of the week it was. I was only 9. I remember it was so. This is before seatbelts, right? I remember I was sitting on the floor of the front seat, passenger side of my mother's Ford Granada, and she had it on. And I was in Ohio. I was living in Ohio. I was 9. And I remember we knew the moment of the silent time on the radio. Every radio station in America is going to go silent. John Lennon was killed. But I think I'd remember if it was 10 minutes. I don't care what the internet says. I cannot believe it was 10 minutes. Yeah, I know who would know the answer to that. Our engineer, Don, who's an old DJ. He'd know. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you believe that in the long run, this is going to help President Trump? Because I know you said that you think they're going to use this against him.
Yeah, it's going to help because this is how it's going to help Donald Trump, right? What Donald Trump did was not a crime. It was not illegal. He was president. Everything was kosher, right? This is going to highlight the difference between the illegal possession of classified documents and the legal possession of them, right? Between the two. So yeah, so it'll make this go. This will help Trump. Oh yeah.
Had it in a locked, secured area.
In a fortress under federal protection. And if you see the picture of Biden pulling out of the garage, have you seen the picture of him pulling out of the garage with the boxes of classified documents? Have you seen the photo?
I was just seeing that on Newsmax. It was a pile of junk. It looked like there was a lamp on top of it, but you could tell there were files and stuff.
Yeah, there's papers all over the place in the garage, and it's wide open. And I don't know if that was Jay Leno's Garage TV show crew that took that photograph, or if he was just on his way to try to pick up some chicks in the vet, that creeper, Joe Biden. I don't know, but no, this is a big deal. Do you believe he's going to resign? I do.
I believe if it's not that, think about this. He's going to have some medical condition and have to step down to make it.
All right. Jeff always has to go into places where, just... I like Jeff's calls. Jeff's calls are very good, but I keep Jeff on too long sometimes, and he always says something you're not really supposed to say. Let me let the delay build back up. Okay, before we take any other calls, if you're on hold, stand by. 1-888-GO-KANE. 1-888-465-2631. I know some of you have been on hold for quite some time, but this is getting good. We got the 3 stashes of documents, and things are going so well. I want to play a clip that's unrelated to this that I came across. I was going through the news this morning on this. Andrea Mitchell. Oh, this was beautiful. Have you guys heard this story? If you heard it, you'll know just by me saying Andrea Mitchell. Andrea Mitchell reprimanded a reporter for NBC News live on MSNBC for saying pro-life. She had a freak out over it. Listen to this. This is yesterday. I'm watching a lot of news because, I'm waiting for the resignation of Joe Biden. It's getting exciting. And this NBC News reporter says pro-life. Andrea Mitchell freaks out, reprimands him live on the air, and acts very strange. Listen to this. Andrea, this is yesterday.
And the House's passage of 2 anti-abortion bills Wednesday, despite a majority of Americans saying abortion should be legal. Joining me now is NBC News senior Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Hake. We had Nancy Mace, of course, the Republican from South Carolina, on yesterday, and she spoke very, passionately about why she thought it was the wrong tone for her caucus to be pursuing this abortion legislation, and why it was unfair to women, especially women who've been subjected to rape or incest or other forms of sexual violence. And she ended up voting for the abortion measures. Explain that.
Well, she told reporters after the fact that at the end of the day, she was, as she described herself, pro-life, and that she felt that it was important to vote for these measures despite their potentially politically damaging or politically unappealing.
Here it comes.
Appearance, if you will, for future voters.
Let me just interrupt and say that pro-life is a term that that an entire group wants to use, but that is not an accurate description.
Okay, now let me go back, because then he defends himself. So he's talking about, he uses pro-life. Andrea Mitchell scolds him, reprimands him live on the air, which is inappropriate, right? And when you see you can't see this on the radio, but if you saw this on video like I did, her body is quivering. This is like a big deal, right? They like to say anti-choice. They like to say pro-choice and anti-choice. They don't like to say pro-life, because if you're pro-life and you're not pro-life and you're on the other side, that means you're pro-death, right? But there's something about that term, pro-life, that caused her not only to get inappropriate and reprimand a senior reporter on the air, her body started to shake and she was quivering. Very sensitive issue. Makes you wonder why, huh? I think I know. You guys can figure it out. Listen.
The unappealing appearance, if you will, for future voters.
Let me just interrupt and say that pro-life is a term that that an entire group wants to use, but that is not an accurate description.
I'm using it because that's the term she used to describe herself, Andrea.
I understand.
And then you notice there's like this period of awkward silence between the two.
To use, but that is not an accurate description.
I'm using it because that's the term she used to describe herself, Andrea.
I understand. Anyway, that was her explanation. Let's talk about Congressman Santos now.
Oh, boy. Wow. Why do you think she's so upset about that? I mean, Andrea Mitchell, the guy just said pro-life. She could hardly continue with her program after that. Something was going on in her mind. Something was triggered. A memory, an experience was triggered, made her uncomfortable. She doesn't even want to hear the term. Makes you wonder, huh? Why would a woman become so triggered, get out of control, and have difficulty continuing a discussion just by hearing the term pro-life? Callers on hold, stand by. The delay has built back up, but it is time for a break. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth.
Article on the internet says
10 minutes?
Yeah, Yoko Ono said she planned it all out.
Of course Yoko Ono said that, yeah. I'll tell you this, maybe you guys know the answer to this question. Where did the Beatles officially break up? Where? I know the answer to this. See if you know. Who knows? Where did the Beatles officially break up? Anyone know? See if anyone knows. Liverpool, says Jeff. India? Nope. Not India, not Liverpool. At the Abbey Road Studios? Manhattan? Walt Disney World. I'll tell you what happened. It's true. The official breakup was at Walt Disney World at one of the hotels there, the Polynesian Hotel at Walt Disney World. John Lennon was there with his mistress, who was also Asian, and it wasn't Yoko Ono, I've forgotten her name, and he signed the papers at the hotel that officially ended the Beatles, the Polynesian Resort Hotel at Walt Disney World. I made a YouTube video and went to the room where he did it, a couple years ago. Oh, it's true. He'd never get away with that today. I know. I just know all kinds of useless things. No, John Lennon, the way he treated poor Julian Lennon and Yoko Ono, just nasty people. Julian Lennon got nothing. Nothing. Mm-hmm.
Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. Hi, this is Megan. Come celebrate our anniversary all month long at Palm Beach Patio Furniture, located at the Seminole Shops Plaza in North Palm Beach. We have an unbelievable selection of brands such as Summer Classics.
Oh no, John Lennon screwed over his first wife and Julian Lennon.
Where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, located in the Seminole Shops Plaza in North Palm Beach.
It's actually a nice hotel. It looks very 70s. It's like very retro. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. The countdown to Valentine's Day has begun. And I've been telling you there is no greater gift for Valentine's Day than a MyPillow bathrobe. There really isn't. And I've been talking about the MyPillow bathrobes all week because right now at MyPillow.com, when you click on the radio listener special section and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, there's a MyPillow bathrobe closeout sale going on. And I don't know if it's going to be there on Monday. When they start running out of sizes and styles and colors, they'll end it without notice. And the regular price for the MyPillow bathrobes is just under $200. I know. But right now you can get them for just $59.98. This is both the light and the heavy robes. The robes for the men, the robes for the women, and they come, of course, in many different colors. So go to MyPillow.com. They make great Valentine's Day gifts. And at this price, you can get one for yourself and, of course, for whoever is the gift recipient. So you get his and hers bathrobes for just $59.98. But you got to use our promo code KANE at checkout. And if you want to give us something a little extra with that, buy a pair of the MyPillow My Slippers. They're just $49.98, $90 off right now. They're doing these huge closeout sales after the Christmas season. So go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener specials and use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Now, of course, you can use our promo code for all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. I try to share with you, like, the MyPillow must-haves, because I have almost every MyPillow product. And when I see these great deals, you're getting these robes and these slippers for much less than I got mine. Okay, because I paid full price, just $59.98 for those bathrobes. This is the lowest price ever. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Michael. What's up?
You know, you're talking about him resigning, right? Biden being forced to resign. But he's such an arrogant guy that thinks he's above it all that he might not resign, right? Oh, you're going to try and force me? I'm not resigning, right? Then, you know who that puts all the pressure on? That puts all the pressure on Chuck Schumer because we know that the Republicans in the House are going to impeach, right? If he's there, they're going to impeach him, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to put the pressure on Chuck Schumer to actually have the trial.
See, this is the deal, okay? The reason Nixon resigned is because he lost the support of his own party. okay? And that's why Nixon resigned and didn't weather it. Bill Clinton had the support of his party when he went through everything. And he also had, Bill Clinton, the support of the mainstream media who were covering for him, okay? Joe Biden doesn't have that support now. He does not have that support. The media are all over him on this. And the mainstream media, especially the White House press corps, are operatives of the Democrat Party. So Joe Biden does not have the support of his own party. That's why with these crimes, and I'm sure we're going to find out more. We found out about 2 more yesterday, the 2 different stashes. We have 3 stashes now. He's lost the support of his own party. And that's why, like Nixon, he's going to be forced to resign.
Yep. Now, I have a question. A couple days back on your podcast, the Brian Show, Craig Show podcast, you mentioned that about McCarthy being a puppet for Trump, right?
Correct, which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. Now, he could have very well said no to that, but then again, I think he made a political decision to be that puppet. Think about it.
Well, I think he may want to be a puppet. I've seen him the last couple days. I'm going to play some clips of Kevin McCarthy later on, and I think I very well may have been wrong about Kevin McCarthy. He's had 2 press conferences. Let me play one of them. I played one on my podcast last night, but I'll play that one again later. This is one that I did not play. This is Kevin McCarthy at one of his press conferences yesterday.
They knew this has happened to President Biden before the election, but they kept it a secret from the American public. He goes on 60 Minutes, criticizes President Trump, even knowing what he has done, and he wasn't president at the time. Now we find another location that it's at, but he refused to answer. His press secretary won't answer the questions. You watched them leak photos of sitting out files of President Trump. Where's the photos of President Biden's documents? Where are those photos at? He knowingly knew this happened going into election, going into interviews. This is what makes America not trust their government.
Okay, that's Kevin McCarthy, who really kind of has an effeminate voice, which is kind of surprising. I've never paid much attention to him talking before, but I think President Trump has always is proven to be right in getting behind Kevin McCarthy. Maybe Kevin McCarthy is not a bad guy. Maybe McCarthy, it's if you can't fake what he did yesterday. That the clip I'm going to play later in the show of Kevin McCarthy is really hardcore. But you hear how he's talking there. That's passion. That's not just doing something because you have to do it to please someone. That's something he said with passion. I think that Kevin McCarthy's all right. Trump does.
I'm thinking. I mean, obviously we were asking the question. Why was MTG for him, right? Maybe she was right too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the way Kevin McCarthy is talking here is absolutely amazing. I mean, he is not messing around. He also said he's thinking about releasing all the January 6th footage, which is going to be devastating to the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi in particular, when all that comes out. But this is not some guy faking it. This is not just being a puppet. You can be a puppet and still be passionate MAGA. If you want to call me a Trump puppet, that's fine. I would consider that an honorable title that I would proudly wear. I'd wear it on a T-shirt. I'm a Trump puppet. I'd walk around with that T-shirt on. I think that's a good thing to be. But Kevin McCarthy seems all right to me. I saw him with the press twice yesterday, and he was on fire. Wait till you hear the next one I play later.
He was on fire, and that's the thing. And look, maybe this is going to be the worst thing for the Democrats is to have somebody like Kevin McCarthy, because everybody considered him one of these, guys that were for the establishment, right?
Yeah.
As establishment could get.
That's right.
This stuff.
Now let me ask you, as I'm trying to figure this out. You're old enough to remember when Elvis and John Lennon died, right? You got to be.
I was a little bit youngish for the.
Okay, so I was too. You were. How old were you when John Lennon died in 1980? How old were you in 1980?
I was maybe 12.
Okay, you were older than me. Do you remember the silence on the radio when John Lennon died?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, now, okay, so the internet, I do too. The internet is saying it was 10 minutes of silence. I remember very clearly. This is what I remember: where I was, who I was with, what we were doing, and my mom in her car, and everything else. I remember it starting, and I remember it ending. There is no way a 9-year-old me sat there with dead air on the radio for 10 minutes. I don't remember it being 10 minutes long. Do you? When every radio station went silent for John Lennon, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either, but I do remember it was longer than what you're saying.
Longer than a minute? To me, a minute popped in my mind. 10 minutes of dead. If anyone knows, we got to have some old DJs around here at the radio station that remember this. I don't, that were young men then on the air probably, but I just don't remember it being 10 minutes. I remember the silence. And I remember knowing it was coming and waiting for it. And like, wow, every radio station is... I didn't know what dead air was then because I was 9. But every radio station is silent. I remember that. But 10 minutes? I don't know. All right, anyway, take care. If anybody remembers, let us know. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Just want to share, and maybe you could enlighten us on where do you attack this whole episode what we're going through with Biden. You would think that would clear out a room and chart it like you would chart the mafia, because that's what it is. And this whole thing is a crime network. So you start with Biden at the top, which I call him Biden won't.
No. He wouldn't be at the top. He wouldn't be at the top. At the top of that crime board would be the president of China.
Yeah, okay. I had it just under that. And under tentacles, you go left and right and sideways and angle from China connection to that person who was made ambassador to, or Germany from there to the to those things that he closed down.
I think Google's wrong. I don't trust Google on this.
China,
I don't know.
The money trail. You now have a golden opportunity, the Republicans, to now put and chart this that it's irreversible.
I bet Scott Shannon knows. I bet he was on the air. I bet Scott Shannon knows.
Like you said, to resign. Now, in the beginning, I said, oh my gosh, then we're going to get her in there. But you know what? What you just said a little while ago, it just plays to the hand of the upcoming election now, because you went from a syndicate crime person to her. Now the Democrats are left with really nothing.
Well, Willie Brown's girlfriend will be the biggest screw up in the history of the presidency. Okay, because and I'll tell you why. I guess I won't tell you why. Well, listen, I got to run for the break, but thanks for the call. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach.
I don't care what Google says. There's no way that every radio station in America had dead air for 10 minutes. I don't think so. Maybe if John Lennon and Elvis died at the same time. Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. Not too bad since I've been up since 1 a.m. Oh, 10 seconds sounds like an eternity of dead air. Dead air is like a big no-no in radio. It's a big deal, dead air. 10 minutes? It's possible, but I think I'd remember that. Problem is, the people that would have a clear recollection of it are either too old to remember or were high at the time, you know, because it was still kind of the 70s. It was 1980, you know. So it's going to be hard to find someone with a clear recollection of it. Oh, I'm sure he'd appreciate a call at 7 a.m. Yeah.
I was thinking for an email, but
Yeah. I don't believe Google that it was 10 minutes. I just don't.
There's just so many articles about
No. I think that's BS because I clearly remember it starting and then the guy coming back on the radio. There's no way I sat there in front of a radio of silence in the car for 10 minutes at 9 years old. There's no way in hell. No way. Full board of calls. I don't know if this is about Biden or John Lennon. I don't know. Yeah, I was up early. I set the YouTube video up early. I always set the YouTube video up before I leave my house. But this one I set up like at 2 in the morning. Well, we were talking about Lisa Marie dying, remembering when Elvis died, and then John Lennon, of course. Oh, Nick is on hold, and he was working at a radio station at the time. Okay.
Well, at least most of the articles they say New York. So
Yeah.
just New York.
There may have been like one radio station or two that did it to get some publicity.
Yeah. But maybe not all of them.
No.
For so long.
No. I don't care if that's what it says on the internet. I just don't think 10 minutes. I just cannot see every radio station in America having 10 minutes of dead air. I could see 1 or 2 radio stations doing it for publicity, like some station in Liverpool, New York, and one in LA or Chicago or something, but not the whole country. There's no way. It was. I know it says 10 minutes online. That's BS. You can't trust the internet, man.
Make sure you look at the articles, because a lot of those articles are New York articles.
Exactly. I could see a station in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Liverpool, but not everyone in the country. No way.
Maybe they have their own little trivia.
Exactly. Our engineer, Don, is an old DJ. He'd know.
Remain was the DJ all over around that time too, so he would have known.
Yeah.
He knew like crazy facts like that. So.
In Australia, 10 minutes of silence. Wow. Not in America. There's just, if it happened, it happened, but I just think I would remember that. And who was bigger in America? Now think about this. In America, who was bigger, John Lennon or Elvis Presley? In America, I'm not a Beatles fan. I really don't like the Beatles. I like Wings, Paul McCartney's band, but I'm not a big Beatles fan. All right, a day of celebration as we count down to the resignation of Joe Biden for his document scandal that he is in the middle of. Yesterday, I'll play this later, yesterday Biden confessed to a third stash of illegally held classified documents. This is a beautiful day, guys. The 47th President of the United States is going to be Willie Brown's girlfriend. Donald Trump will be the 45th and 48th President of the United States. This is great stuff. All right, guys, if you're on hold, stand by. So, Hank Johnson, Democrat congressman, he's out there, and he has a reason and a theory as to why. Have you seen this? As to why Joe Biden has classified documents all over the place. Listen to this. This is Democrat Congressman Hank Johnson. I think he's from Georgia. Listen to this.
My response to it all is that alleged classified documents showing up allegedly in the possession of Joseph Biden. There's so much that needs to be investigated, and that's what I call for, is for everything to be investigated. But I'm suspicious of the timing of it. I'm also aware of the fact.
Okay, now before I play this, I haven't had this. Hank Johnson. I thought this I haven't heard someone do this in a long time. First time I've heard a high-profile black politician do this. I haven't heard this from a black politician, a black Democrat, in years. That's not the real way Hank Johnson talks, okay? You know, we were talking about Lisa Marie's death, this actor that played Elvis. He still talks like Elvis, even though that's not how he really talks, right? Hank Johnson doesn't really talk this way. It's an imitation of Martin Luther King that he's doing. A lot of black politicians of the past do a Martin Luther King imitation when they talk. I haven't heard someone do it in such a long time, and I'm hearing Hank Johnson in my headphones, and I'm hearing it. And now that I pointed it out to you, you'll hear it too.
So Biden, there's so much that needs to be investigated, and that's what I call for, is for everything to be investigated. But I'm suspicious of the timing of it. I'm also aware of the fact that things can be planted on people.
Oh.
Places and things can be planted. Things can be planted in places and then discovered conveniently. That may be what has occurred here. I'm not ruling that out, but I'm open in terms of the investigation. Needs to be investigated.
Okay, so Hank Johnson is saying that he thinks the documents were planted on Biden. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian.
Oh. All right, Nick in Baltimore. What's up?
Yeah, you were talking, first of all, Hank Johnson, he's the Guam guy, right, that said that Guam would capsize?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the other thing was the John Lennon thing. I remember it, and it was like a minute of silence on the air, and then a lot of stations played Beatles music. I remember WCBS in New York played WCBS radio, which was all news. They stopped, they broke format and played just like starting over.
Oh, yeah. So the 10 minutes thing is the 10 minutes of silence is an internet misinformation, I guess.
Yeah, it is, because it was just like a minute, but then they played music. That's where they probably got the 10 minutes from, because they actually broke format.
If you Google it, it says 10 minutes. What else does the internet tell us that's not true? They say 10 minutes of silence every radio. What else is not true there? So what do you think? Willie Brown's girlfriend becoming the 47th president. What do you think?
Will it happen? I'm not sure. I think I think you're right. I think Biden will resign, and I think I think this is the Democrats' Watergate. For now.
See, this yesterday, but this special counsel, okay? And I know this special counsel's connected to a lot of villains and all that stuff. The reason that Garland appointed a special counsel was to cover his rear end. He didn't do this for consistency with Trump or anything. This was to save himself. And I would consider Merrick Garland, who as Attorney General is a member of the cabinet of Joe Biden, he is the highest ranking Democrat to no longer support Joe Biden by doing this yesterday. I mean, that was a huge thing. And that's how serious this is, that Merrick Garland's afraid.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think you're also right that they're going to try to do this to torpedo Trump, but it's not going to work, because I think Trump is in control of the House now, because he is effectively House Speaker, as you said. And I think it's really going to turn around. I really do.
Oh, yeah. All right, hey, Nick, appreciate the call. So Nick's telling us it was a minute of silence. You know, when I was talking about at 6, I just want to mention this again. If you're on hold, stand by. One opening on the board about the passing of Lisa Marie Presley. You know, I feel really bad about it. I do. I don't know why. I just feel very bad about the loss of Lisa Marie Presley. It's like losing Elvis again. What I was talking about at the top of the first hour was this. And no one else is going to say this because it may be considered to be in bad taste, but I think it's accurate. And I was telling, when I opened up the show at 6, this new Elvis movie, which is very, very weird, but also good. I did watch it. I learned a lot. I did not know that the Colonel was not an American, and that's why Elvis never toured, because the Colonel was an illegal. Did you guys know this? He didn't have documents, and the Colonel couldn't travel outside of the United States. He wouldn't be allowed back in. That's why Elvis never toured in Europe or anywhere else, just in America. But anyway, it's a very strange movie, very good. But this new Elvis movie is what killed Lisa Marie, is what I was telling you guys at 6. She has had a lifetime of addiction and recovery going on, and she's had the last year, however long it's been since that Elvis movie came out, she has been with the A-list celebrities, doing the celebrity circuit for a year, and that's what happened. The movie got, losing her son too didn't help, but the fame circle that came back to her life with the movie got her back into the drugs, and that's why she had a heart attack, I'm telling you. And I saw her at the Golden Globes. I looked at it, the guy she was with, is that old man her husband? My good, I don't know who he was, but she had to lean on him, hold on to him while she was talking. She couldn't even stand. Slurring of words and everything was pretty bad. Anyway, if you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with
Let's see, what else? I got so much to get to today. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he committed suicide, her son. And her son looked like Elvis. Oh, that was her manager, that old man?
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation
No, John.
in Del Rey, and hormone replacement
I mean,
therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement.
That was her manager, and he worked for Elvis? Are you kidding me?
Like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Hi, Kate here from Will For You. How about we welcome in the new year with an awesome sale on an entire flooring collection from Karastan, America's premier carpets, luxury vinyl plank, and hardwood flooring. For over 100 years, Karastan has produced the most fashionable floors with current colors, design-forward patterns, and textures. A must-see when planning your flooring purchase, Will For You has been flooring folks for over 30 years with top-notch installations. Always the best price and quality brands like Karastan. Hope to see you soon in Jupiter, Stewart.
What do you think Elvis would have done if he were alive and Lisa Marie married Michael Jackson? I think he would have killed him. There's no way Elvis Presley, some good old boy from Tennessee, would want his daughter married to a black man. There's no way. What do you guys think? Is he? Kyle's made some money? No way. No way, man.
Need help with your finances? You need Keith Singer. Review your income plans, tax strategies, estate plans, and more with Keith Singer. Listen to Singer Wealth Sunday.
Really? That guy was in the Memphis Mafia? Growing up in a black church is much different than his daughter, Lisa Marie, marrying a black man.
Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now at Boca in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is.
There's no way. No way.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. One opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And as we count down to the resignation of Joe Biden, great calls today. And, of course, open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You're not limited to the topics that Steve and I bring up, although we got a big news event going on, so I hope you have some interest in that. I'm very curious. I believe he will resign Joe Biden, that Kamala, Willie Brown's girlfriend, will become the 47th president of the United States. Now, I know what a lot of you are doing right now. You're dieting. Diets don't work. Can anybody out there tell me that a diet worked for them? They lost weight, they look great, and they kept it off? Come on. Diets don't work. I'll tell you what does work, though, if you want to be thinner. That's the Cool Sculpting Elite at Forever Youth, right next to any lab test now of Boca, which is FDA approved. The Cool Sculpting Elite permanently freezes away your fat cells. It's completely non-invasive. It does everything liposuction does without that very invasive, bloody, and violent procedure known as liposuction. Not only that, after the fat cells are freezed away and you're thinner, it sculpts the part of the body that's being treated to look and be shaped in the way that you want it to look. And it works on every area of your body where you have fat. Stomach, love handles, neck, back, legs, the back of your arms. Steve calls those bat wings. Oh my goodness. Works on all those areas of the body. And here's the cool thing. When you call Forever Youth, tell them you heard them about them on the radio, the Cool Sculpting Elite, 50% off right now, 50% off. But you got to mention you heard about them on the radio. 50% off. Stop starving yourself, right? It's not going to work. If you lose weight, you're going to gain it back. That's right. The Cool Sculpting Elite, it works. Steve's daughter, one of his daughters, well, he's got a lot of daughters, but one of his daughters actually had it done. Give them a call. Again, 50% off, but you've got to mention you heard them on the radio. 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. That's 561-717-8081. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Senator Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, I'm wondering when they start talking about him resigning, that he's going to go into his come on man routine and say, I'm the vice president. I had classified documents. I'm allowed. They're trying to blow this off.
No. He was not he was former vice president. He is not allowed.
Yeah, he's going to come up with some dumb story that everybody's going to try to make those people from MSNBC and see.
Everyone, you know this Idaho killer who looks like he got beaten up in the jail. His face was all scratched up and bloody. He's contesting the evidence. Leaked out yesterday. You know, that's what criminals do. They all say they didn't. How many criminals say they did it?
Yeah, nobody.
Exactly. So why should Biden be any different?
Yeah. I'm wondering when Obama's going to come to save the day. He's going to probably come out. He probably doesn't want.
Obama hates Joe Biden. Obama hates Joe Biden. The most famous quote from Barack Obama about Joe Biden is, "Never underestimate Joe's ability to F things up." Right?
But I'm thinking they're going to put a lot of pressure on him to come out. He probably doesn't want to do it, but he's going to say, yeah,
I mean, you know, like yesterday, vice presidents can't do that, Doug. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, now, if you're on hold, stand by. Let me play this. I played this in the first hour. This is great. Joe Biden confessed. He had a press conference yesterday, and he confessed to the third stash of documents, right? We knew about the office at the fake think tank where the CCP gave him all the money. We knew about the documents in the garage. And he's trying to make excuses for the garage documents. And then he let it be known live on television about a third stash of illegally held classified documents. It's when Peter Doocy was talking to him.
Nothing beyond our capacity. We work together. So God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
See, as I point out, this right here, what you're hearing in the background, all this noise, that's the White House press corps all over Biden. They're all Democrats, pretty much. You have all these Democrat White House press corps, Democrat apologists, barking at a Democrat president. They're in trouble.
Classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier...
Okay, now this is the other thing. I'm going to, what he just said here. I'm going to get a chance to talk about all this soon, God willing. That's how the guilty talk. He could tell us everything right now. Right now. But he's not. And they've had months to work on his story. That means he's guilty, and he knows it.
Sweet. People, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage. Okay, so it's not like you're sitting out in the street. But anyway, yes, as well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents in my, from my time as vice president were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas in file cabinets in my home and my personal library.
Okay, boom. That, he slipped up and confessed about another stash in his home library, in his filing cabinets. We got 3 stashes. Oh, this is beautiful. It's not a matter of if he'll resign, it's when. When? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Ken calling from Jupiter.
Hey, Ken.
You know, hey, you know, I learned so much from these Democrats. Who knew? I have a safe deposit box in a bank. Who knew the safest place to keep all my important documents are in my locked garage? It's great.
Isn't that amazing?
Right away.
Yeah. If you go to William Youngerman and buy gold, do you keep it in the garage?
According to Biden, that's.
You know what's in my garage? Junk. Junk.
Too. I got tools. Lots of things that I store, but I'm going to get rid of my safe deposit box and make sure,
Sure.
things that Democrats.
Well, and there's a couple other problems here. Now we got this photograph of him driving out of the garage in the vet, and you see the boxes in the background. There's papers all over the place coming out of these unsealed boxes. And Hunter Biden has claimed that he's the owner of that house, not even Joe. So we see the boxes with papers and files all over the place. It's anything but secure.
Fortunate for him that there wasn't some lighter fluid that was close to those documents.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, thank you for calling. You called me, but thanks for calling. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks for the call. He's thanking me for the call? I don't know. He's confused. He's from Jupiter. What do you know? All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Do you think Biden's going to resign? I do. We're going to have the shortest president in modern history, Kamala Harris, first woman, the shortest president, first Indian American, first African American, first Caribbean American, and the first homewrecker. That's right. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay, I'll be right back, guys.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
The Palm Beaches, the major expressways are still crash-free and moving up to speed. We're seeing some light volume starting to pick up now on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca. On 95 heading southbound at Palmetto Park Road, the right shoulder is blocked by a disabled vehicle. On the service streets, we have a new multi-vehicle crash now in West Palm along Okeechobee Boulevard at Congress Avenue. Broward County, I-95 heading southbound before Sterling Road, a multi-vehicle crash there. This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs, from quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. BBKC's Lunch with a Legend series enjoy an intimate lunch with legendary sports stars like Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie on February 7th and golf great Gary Player April 17th. Play your favorite casino table games like 3-card poker or Ultimate Texas Hold'em with just a $5 minimum. Go to bbkennelclub.com.
You think I'm wrong? That's okay. Oh, this is great. Make sure you like the video, guys. There's over 1,100 of you in the chat right now and less than 400 likes. So if you guys could like the video, that helps my channel out a lot, because what it does, it tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video and my other videos to people that have not discovered this channel, which is the most pro-Donald Trump channel on all of YouTube, I promise. And if you're new to the channel, this is a morning radio show. We're on 6 radio stations in Morning Drive, right down the street from Mar-a-Lago. And the calls you're hearing are from our radio listeners, and you guys on YouTube can call in too. I got a long drive after work today when I get off the air. I've been up since 1 a.m. My dog woke me up crying. Thank the Lord she did, because I would rather her wake me up at 1 a.m. than do what she was going to do if I didn't get up. Oh, Kamala will be a disaster because she's not going to listen to anyone. First off, she's just incompetent, you know, and she's going to have something to prove. So you get someone who's stupid and incompetent who won't take anyone's advice. It's right next door. I don't know. I shouldn't have said anything about it and just surprise you guys. Oh, thank you. I see that. The YouTube was on, so I got a text from Leah and Vic. They could hear.
Oh, because the thing was on the pot. I think I could hear it because right by the engineer room, I didn't even hear that.
Really, thank you. After one time, from crying to me on the phone to sleeping like a baby that night. Do what Rabbi David did. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All righty. You know, welcome back, everyone. There's a big rule of thumb. Oh, by the way, Steve, welcome, Steve. But before we get started, a big rule of thumb I tell people about all the time. Always assume when you're in the radio station that you're on the air, right? And during the break, I'm getting text messages from people all over the place. During the break, the mic was on. And my whole conversation off the air was going on during the break. But I didn't, that's why I got a rule of thumb. Anytime you're at the radio station, don't say anything that you wouldn't say on the air, right? Because you never know. You start saying some things, you never know. You always assume the mics are on. And Steve, Steve will tell you, like if there's ever going to be an important meeting at the radio station and we're in the studio, I'm crazy. I unplug the microphones. I go around the studio, I unplug the microphones and make sure everything's off because you just always got to assume the mics are on, which luckily I do. That's why you don't hear, like some of these other guys, you don't hear any profanities or anything like that off the air. Anyway, welcome, Steve. It's a glorious day. Oh. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want it to be too quick. I want to drag it out a little bit. Because you know why? There's going to be more because we already know of 3. That Joe Biden confessed to the 3rd one yesterday, mistakenly during the press conference. And see, there's some things. I know. There's a couple of reasons, okay? By the way, were you listening to me during the break? Okay, that's okay. Oh, please, Steve, please. You think I would use profanity around a microphone? Are you kidding? Oh, no, my mic was on, not yours. My mic was on. Yeah. Well, what happened was, I tell you, I I've been up since 1 in the morning. My dog woke me up crying to go outside. So I've had about 5 bottles of water and no, I don't drink during the, I save that for the cruise. I've had about 5 bottles of water and I get in 2 of the largest size coffees they sell at Starbucks. And I had to run to the men's room so bad during the last break, I left my mic on, came back and started talking, and my mic was on, going right out on the air, and I'm hearing from people still, except Al Knight. Al Knight usually would text me about something like that, but I think Al Knight enjoyed me. You know, he's on the weekends here. I think Al Knight was kind of enjoying me not knowing I was on the air. But anyway, regardless, I know, nice guy, Al Knight. No, I'm kidding, Al Knight. That's fine. It makes the show more interesting. This is live radio. Anything can happen. Okay. Oh, my goodness. You know, yeah, that's true. That's true. But nothing illegal will happen. No, there's a couple reasons why I don't want this to be over soon, okay? The first reason is I want to enjoy and savor it. That's one reason, which is kind of just petty and you know. But it's true. It's true. But the other reason is this. If it ends too fast, we need more information to come out to really tell you how bad this guy and the Democrats are. And here's my theory, okay? Here's my theory. I believe Joe Biden is a spy. You know, like you remember those those FBI guys and Jonathan Pollard were selling secrets for money? That's what Joe was doing. And okay, and the document. Well, if it's over too quick, this is not all going to come out. And I'll tell you, one of the things I mentioned yesterday, but with the new 2 stashes, there's something new I want to add. But I'll review the one I said yesterday. At his fake think tank, right, that Biden Center across the street from the Capitol, where the classified documents were in the closet. No, that's at the house. That's the new ones. No, the first one was at the fake think tank. That think tank, that Biden Center at the University of Pennsylvania. Yes, I know my mic was on during the break. I cannot believe how many people have my cell phone number and can text me. I must give out is my number on the wall of a men's room or something? I can't believe all the messages I'm getting. The fake think tank had taken at least $60 million from the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party from China. Some say 75 million. I've heard reported 60 and 75 million. And I believe the documents were there at that Penn State fake think tank to show the people. They didn't give him $60 million for nothing, whether it was 60 or 75 million. The house, okay, his houses are very interesting. Every weekend that he's been in office, he's gone back home to Delaware. And the press have, for the last 2 years, in the press conferences, pretty much every week, been trying to get the visitor logs from his house. The visitor logs to the White House are public record. There's no secrets, okay? But his house in Delaware that he goes to every weekend, there's no visitor logs, and who's been there that information has never been given to the press. I think, and I've said this before, I think he goes to Delaware every weekend because that's where he does his dirty business, okay? And I think the records were there, the classified documents were there, so that he could have people over. There's no record of who was there, and they could see them. He doesn't send them electronically or mail. They got to come in person to see them. Okay? So I think that's why they were at the house in Delaware. So I think he's like Jonathan Pollard. Who were some of those FBI spies? Aldrich Ames, giving secrets to the Soviets for money. I think he was doing the same thing on a much larger scale. And the longer this gets drawn out, they'll just make him resign. But this stuff will come out. But it won't come out if it's over too quick. So I want to drag it out, not just to enjoy and savor it. I want this truth to be revealed. Or what do they liberals say? I want my truth to be revealed about this.
Questions here. time frame that we just brought up, the other question is,
Yeah.
where does Trump land in all this?
Oh, he's just like us. He's enjoying it, savoring it.
I mean,
Well, what's going to happen is that, see, they made a big mistake breaking into Mar-a-Lago, okay, in August last year for those documents. They knew what he had. He legally had them. They were secured, et cetera, et cetera. This story with Biden would have been a speed bump of a story that lasted 10 seconds. We would not even done more than a reference had they not broken into Mar-a-Lago. If they didn't break into Mar-a-Lago. When they broke into Mar-a-Lago and they were making a big deal about the classified documents that Trump legally was in possession of, and now this happens, that's why this is a big deal. And the first crack in the Biden administration we saw yesterday with the Attorney General appointing the special counsel. When he appointed the special counsel, I think he's afraid he's going to get in trouble because he's been covering this up. He appointed a special counsel to look into the Trump documents after he knew that Biden illegally had classified documents. He appointed the special counsel to save his butt, Merrick Garland. So that's the first. That's right. So that's the first person from the Biden administration to correct. So it's only a matter of when, but we don't want it too soon because we want more of this information. Now, so far as Trump, he's going to be completely cleared again because we're going to see the difference between someone who is in legal possession of something versus someone who's not. So, yeah.
very interesting.
Now, we're coming up on a break. If you're on hold, stand by, and I'll throw this out to the listeners. Should I leave my microphone on during every break for the rest of the day? Oh, my goodness. I was telling the board op, when I first started as a board op, I left the phone pot on during the break, and there was somebody in the studio talking on the phone to their girlfriend, their wife or something, and the whole conversation during the break went out over the air with the phone. It happens. It happens. But listen, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE1. This is exciting stuff, and I've got more to share, too. I've got some more audio sound bites I want to share with you guys as well, but we will get to your calls after the break.
One more mini question for closure on this.
Oh, there's no closure. We're just beginning.
Well, okay, no, but the issue of the timing is what we're focused on right now. Are we looking at a quick hit here, or are we looking at an extended period?
You're obsessed with time.
That's how you lay it out in a orderly way and give it a context so people can understand it. Otherwise, if you don't straighten out the time.
I don't know. At the rate we're going, it could be next week because this story just happened this week, and we've already got 3 stashes.
It's not every day you get the perp to confess on national television.
Correct.
Admit that he did it.
It was like what?
For this on Fox, I was watching last night. Ducey.
Yeah, Peter Ducey. It was.
Asked him the questions about the Corvette that got him going to.
Well, he didn't. Well, I'll tell you what Peter Ducey did. What Peter Ducey did was it was just like Tom Cruise and A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson on the stand. He got confrontational. What were you thinking? You don't hear people. What were you thinking? He was, doing that.
Remember when I told? This goes back to your early training years ago, when I taught you that you always end with a question, because that's what leaves them hanging.
Yeah.
He didn't just tell him about that he did it. He ended with the question, when you did that thing with the Corvette, what were you thinking?
Yeah, and he barked it at him. Now listen, we're gonna take our break, and we'll get to the calls after the break. On the chat room, everyone wants me to leave the mic on during every break for the rest of the show. Yeah, it might be fun. It also might be boring. Anyway, not for me. Not for me. I'm never going to say anything. All right, listen, we're going to take our break and be right back. That's right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
We're doing great.
All right, well, happy Friday to you guys and to everyone. Continuing on with some of the
Wesley,
most
welcome.
common, frequently asked questions, one of the questions that we often get is, what are the documents that are part of our general or our foundational estate plan? And the key ones would be, depending on whether you're doing a trust plan or a will plan, a trust or a will. And if you do a trust, you do a trust and a will. And we cover those a lot, so I'm not going to go into detail on those today, but the trust and or the will. And then you've got the power of attorney, the document that allows you to name agents to step into your shoes and make decisions for financial reasons or business reasons or legal reasons. And then you have three very important healthcare documents that are part of an overall estate plan. A living will that is often called the pull the plug document. You have the healthcare surrogate naming surrogates to step in and make healthcare decisions for you if you are unable to do so for yourself. And then you have the HIPAA authorization and release, allowing you to name the people who are allowed to receive your private health information, including your healthcare records. So those are the 5 key documents that are part of your overall estate planning. And if you want more information on any of those, obviously you can call our office or set up a...
Yeah, and you know those documents are so important. And I'm a executor or trustee. I don't know what is the right term, Barry? I'm like the trustee on a whole bunch of people's trust.
You're a trustee. You're very likely also the executor.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you something, and I don't know if you encounter this. I really am a trustee on multiple trusts. I don't know how this happened. I guess I'm a trustworthy guy, I guess. But on some of them, even though I'm not a family member directly, I'm the healthcare surrogate. And the reason that some of these people have made me the healthcare surrogate is since I'm not an heir, I don't have a vested interest in pulling the plug. And I know that might, but you know, these things can happen. It depends on the family, you know, I guess. You can call the Siegel Law Group. Make sure you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, because it's a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention that, okay? Covers the entire state of Florida, has offices throughout Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. But no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help. You can find them online at SiegelLawGroup.com or call toll-free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
All right, you guys too. Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back.
For breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. It is open mic Friday, literally. All right. We have only one opening on the board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1, where Attorney Barry Siegel was. Mm-hmm.
I love the questions. That's what turns me on about talk radio, the questions where you really make your points. What I'd like to know is who's the next meeting of the Democrats that they have, who's going to be at the next meeting? Will it be a big meeting? Will it be a little meeting? Who will be the players? I mean, they're going to have to cut right to the chase on this, because this thing isn't going to take its...
Oh, this is... Well, okay, what's gonna start to happen, okay, and call us on hold, standby. What's gonna start to happen is either we're gonna find out about more stashes, or we're gonna get more detail and discussion. You know, this house in Delaware, there's big problems with it, okay? Hunter Biden has said that that's his house, that he's the owner of the house, which would take the security away from it. And Jay Leno has been injected into this. Jay Leno has a show called Jay Leno's Garage, which is about cars, and he did an episode with Joe Biden about the vet. And in that show, Joe Biden tells Jay Leno that Hunter was in the garage working on the car. You know, so and then that photograph of Biden coming out of the garage where we see the documents and they're in open boxes and there's documents and files scattered all over the there's
just like in a pile.
Yeah, exactly. You know, my copybook is more organized than that, and I'm telling you, they've got some problems, and it's going to get, and there's no out for them on this. It's going to get worse because either we're going to get more stashes of documents or more details about these. We're never going to know exactly what the documents are because they're classified top secret, and they're not going to declassify them. We really don't even know the details of the Trump documents, classified documents, but we will get some more details about how sensitive these documents are, and people are going to start to wonder, why are these particular documents there? Like with Trump, we did get some information. A lot of what Trump had involved communication with, Kim Jong-un, things that he would like put in his library, like mementos, bragging things, to put in the library on display. We did get some information on that. We haven't gotten much clarity on the Biden documents, and when we start to get that, that's when it's going to get worse for him, because we're going to find that there were very specific documents on very specific things, people, or subjects. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
All right, Helen.
Hey, Helen.
Hi, guys. Your program is instructs us to keep up on current events, basically politically, specifically, and you guys do such a good job. And he says in St. Matthew 24, 34 and 35, it says, "Verily, or truly, I say unto you, this generation, which is the generation of the victory, which began in 1948 when Israel became a nation, shall not pass till all these things, all prophecies in the Bible be fulfilled." 35, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words, his words, shall not pass away."
Well, thank you. Well, and you keep us, and you, Helen, keep us focused on what's really important, and that, of course, is Jesus.
As King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
That's right.
The political leaders around the world, but be prepared.
That's right.
Forever and ever.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, Helen, have a great weekend. Oh, okay. Now going from, of course, all that is holy to the complete opposite, the Coven of the View. The Coven of the View. The View, Joy Behar. Talk about good and evil. If you don't know what a coven is, Google it and you'll be laughing too, okay? The Coven of the View commented yesterday on the documents. Listen to this. This is Joy Behar, and I don't know who all the rest are, but listen.
A luckier person than Donald Trump. Just as we're this close to getting him, but somehow...
Just as we were this close to getting him, somehow... This is great.
That's the best. I've never seen a luckier person than Donald Trump. Just as we're this close to getting him, but somehow these documents appear.
But here's the thing, Biden is wrong to have done this.
He is wrong. Well, let's find out what this is first. Now, again, one of the things that gets me crazy is before we know, it's already been spun a specific way. I don't want to see that. I want to see someone explain to me, A, how it's possible that after all this time, nobody knew this. Because to me, if you're missing classified information, I don't mean to laugh, but in my house, if stuff is missing, I know it's missing.
Does it feel like Oppo research to you? Does it feel like the Republicans are behind it?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, but not now, because one of the things he's saying is that, you know, some of the locations where the docs may have been shipped in the transition may have gotten taken and put, but still.
Okay, so they're blaming Republicans for planting the documents, and this is a little known thing. Jay Leno's a Republican. Okay, he's a Republican, and he was in the garage, so they're going to start blaming Jay. But did you hear what they said? This is their new talking point, right? They were planted by Republicans. Oh my goodness! You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, it's Greg. Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, Greg too. What's up?
Good morning. Jay Leno. Hey, good morning, Steve. Do you think Jay Leno just had a major fire, like burn situation where he was in the hospital in intensive care?
How does that fit in here?
But also, Brian, you gave me one of the best laughs I have in a while. I want to thank you, okay? I looked up I just checked you out on YouTube, and I saw that festival flea market video you put up, and you focused in on a guy's crotch for half of it.
No, I know that's probably why you liked it so much, right, Greg? That's probably why. How many times you rewatched that? You like that part? The reason I did that. Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt your fantasy. The reason that. Boy, does it sound like he's getting excited, Steve, with this guy's crotch thing? There's a no. Let me respond. Greg, slow down for a second, okay? The reason that you don't see the guy's face is to protect his identity. I had the video in a way so you don't see his face. I didn't want to show his face on the video. Yeah, I didn't show the one that was threatening us with guns and calling the cops, okay, with armed security, who had a pistol himself, okay? I didn't show him. I purposely did not show him.
Been prosecuted.
Whatever, Greg. I'm sorry to interrupt the fantasy of the crotch that you were obviously having. By the way, what are you doing? What are you doing on YouTube? Looking me up, Greg.
Because you said a lot of people are chatting on.
Okay, all right. So So you look at me up online. You fantasize and look at me up online. That's good. I'm not the one that called a radio station talking about a camera facing a guy's privates. All right, stalker?
I take that off the air if I were you, Brian. But also, do you think in your right mind, seriously, that Joe Biden is going to resign from the presidency?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Listen, you want to put a wager on it, Steve?
No, I don't bet.
Save your money because you lose.
Okay.
He's committed a crime here.
What? First of all,
do you not realize that? Are you so thick you don't realize that?
Barack Obama says, in his defense, I classified those docs, declassified them, end of story. Like Trump gave him that opening.
Obama didn't say that. Listen, we got to run for a break. You can go back and watch me on YouTube and check out that guy's crotch that you were talking about. What a weirdo. I know it's open phones on Fridays, but come on. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if it's possible. Listen, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number, 888-COCAINE-1, 888-465-2631. We'll take our top of the hour break and be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach. WIR.
Oh my goodness. What his mind's in the gutter. I think it's obvious in the video that I didn't show the guy's face for a reason, right? But he thinks it's some sexual thing. What a pervert.
He comes in to defend Biden and talk about that.
Yeah.
If that's not saying he's a liberal.
Yeah.
What is?
Oh my goodness. The other people that were there were our listeners. They don't mind being shown. You know, my goodness. What a weirdo. That's what it's like. Got grown men searching for me on the internet. In certain instances, you can't show people's faces. I'm going to go back to leaving the mics on. But I tell you, it's amazing the people that listen. Because there's a lot of people listening that I didn't know were listening that are messaging me. Well, the freaks are out. Greg is so creepy. Yes. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting how Greg thought that it made me look bad that he's looking at this guy's crotch. You know, oh, yeah. There was, Steve had this bet with someone once, and they lost the bet. It was a few $100s, and they paid Steve in pennies. And they told him that the pennies came from the urinal of a gay bar in town. And Steve took the pennies to the bank, and they put, you know, they did it. And Steve said, "You think it makes me look bad that you paid me in pennies from the gay club urinal? You're the one that was in the urinal taking out the pennies." If the story's true, so who looks bad? Who looks worse in that situation? Yeah, the board ops have to wear suits here. We're a concierge radio station. I couldn't get it to record earlier. It wouldn't audition wouldn't record on that machine.
It's on the same pot as Steve. So.
Oh, it's happening now with what you were talking about?
Well, I'm not sure, but I don't want to stop the recording either.
Okay.
But Mike was saying it should work at the same time, but it doesn't.
TMI, I agree. I know we have.
There's a second.
Well, thank you. I'm looking hydrated. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I'm sure it'll. Yeah, like if you press record here, it won't work.
Oh yeah, I'll stop immediately.
Why? Because of this? Is it the same?
I've seen it record.
Because I've recorded on it here before.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I remember you doing that, so I don't understand why. Something's going on. Well, since Steve came in early, we'll see if it's.
We'll find out.
Yeah, if it's just the length, like you said, or.
We got a full board of calls.
Cafe Chardonnay partners with nearby farmers, ranchers, and fishermen to provide the highest quality ingredients. And Chef Frank's talent combines these fresh ingredients to create delicious, novel, exciting dishes.
Make every evening a celebration at Cafe Chardonnay, located in Palm Beach Gardens on the corner of PGA Boulevard and Military Trail. Call 561-627-2662, online at cafechardonnay.com.
And be sure to enjoy a glass of wine.
The worst thing that can happen is you have the mic on during the break and you're talking and no one lets you know because no one's listening. That would be worse. Carl, since they waited until after the midterm to ruin Biden, Kamala won't have to count this towards her 2-term limit. That is correct. Oh, that's a good point. I'll bring that up. I had not considered that. That's right. That means she has 2 terms ahead of her. That's right. Less than an hour to go, and then it's the weekend. I'll have some new podcasts over the weekend, so keep an eye out, guys. Who will she pick for VP? Oh, that's easy, Mayor Pete. That's right. All right, welcome back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve, you with us? Yeah, you know, 2 weeks from tomorrow is the cruise. And let me tell you, I just want people to know, okay, because our Steve Kane 2023 MAGA cruise leaves 2 weeks from tomorrow. I will be bringing with me all of my equipment, and if there's big news that breaks, we can be on the air live no matter where we are on the cruise if need be, if a resignation happens or something. Now, before we get into this, every line on the board is full. I want to tell people that if you've not done it yet, call Sloman's, get your free doorbell camera. You will love it. I talk to you guys all the time about how convenient it is and how much security it gives you. And also I like it because I can see what's going on when I'm not home. Like when I'm on the cruise in 2 weeks, I'll get a notification, because I always have my phone, right, when I'm on, even on the cruise ship and everything. I'll get a notification when there's movement at my door. And, you know, I can talk to the people at my door, even while we're out in the Caribbean, and I can talk to whoever is at my door, and they'll think I'm inside the house. It's really amazing. But I'll tell you, you know, when my daughter gets settled in, Steve, in her new place, I'm going to get her the doorbell camera, too. And it makes a great gift. And you should think about getting it for a gift for your kids, too. It makes a great gift. You can get a doorbell camera for free. When you call Slomers, they're going to tell you how. I have one. I love it. It's part of our security here at the radio station as well. And, you know, obviously there's the security. It's hooked up to the security system. You've got not only notifications coming to you, but there's video recording in high definition with night vision for the nighttime and all of that. But it's also a great convenience when you get deliveries to the house and everything else. All right? And you can get one for free. They'll tell you how. Give them a call, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. And, you know, I got a call. Al Knight called me, and he said, did the radio station give you that doorbell camera? I said, no, I had one before. And before they talked to us about promoting the doorbell camera, I already had one. So, yeah, and it's good, and I love it. That's why I love talking about it so much. 833-283-5050. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Get your free doorbell camera. All right, every line on the board is lit. I just want to say a couple things, though, Steve, to throw out there for speculation before we go back to the calls. I do believe Joe Biden will resign over this. He'll be forced to resign, okay? Not right away. It's going to. You got a guy who's lived a life of crime. To convince him that he's going to face consequences is not going to be easy, but it's eventually going to happen. And remember, the reason Nixon resigned is because he lost the support of his own party, okay? And Biden's already doing that, right? The Attorney General, he's already lost the Attorney General. That's a big one in a legal case. And he's also lost the Democrat media. They're shouting at him to get questions and answers from him on this. So he's already losing his own party. This is an interesting thing, Steve. When Kamala becomes the 47th president, since we are I know, can you imagine? Willie Brown's girlfriend did good. When Kamala Harris becomes president, Biden's term is more than half over. That means she's entitled to 2 more terms on top of completing Biden's term here. I don't think that'll happen, but she's going to have to. Now, this is going to everyone's going to think I'm nuts, but I'm going to make the prediction. Okay, when Kamala Harris becomes president, she's going to have to pick a vice president. I believe it's going to be Mayor Pete. It's going to be Mayor Pete. Steve. No, I'm serious. I'm not joking. It's going to be Mayor Pete. He's being groomed to run for president again and be president. He's a Kennedy. He's very in with the Kennedys. The Kennedys created everything about him. And a while back, he had a press conference at the White House, which is a very unusual thing. I've never seen a transportation secretary do it. And you could tell it was a dry run for presidential press conferences. Mayor Pete will be Kamala Harris's vice president. You heard it here first, guys. I'm telling you. All right, can you imagine? The 2 most incompetent people ever to have that job. I mean, but I'm just getting that prediction out there, Mayor Pete. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's PJ.
PJ.
The prospect of Vice President Mayor Pete. Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Have they learned nothing from all this?
Yeah, I mean, the worst, seriously, it's got to be the worst transportation secretary we've ever had. They want to make him vice president or president. It's unbelievable.
I'm serious. I'm serious. He'll be her vice president. PJ's in shock.
Yesterday, guess who has the worst job in the world? Not Biden. It has to be Special Jack Smith. Think about it.
Who? Who's Jack Smith?
He's a special counsel that was appointed to investigate Trump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing I don't get. Wait a minute. Merrick Garland, he knew about this in early November about the documents at the Penn Biden Center, right?
But he didn't know that
he knew it before.
He didn't know that it was public.
But he knew. Yeah, well, it doesn't make any difference. He knew about it before he appointed Jack Smith to.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. So how can he possibly have?
Well, this is what's going to happen. You're right. Garland is going to be impeached over this. He was involved in a cover-up for months.
Yeah, exactly. Now, imagine this. Here's the thing. The task of Jack Smith is, they want him to indict Trump, but make
it's not going to happen.
Political. How are they going to do it? So
they're not going to. They can't. They have no basis. Trump hasn't committed any crimes.
This is awesome. All right, PJ. So appreciate the call, PJ. 2 weeks on the cruise. That's right, 2 weeks. PJ's sitting next to you, by the way, at dinner every night for a week. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
From Kissimmee.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, your prior caller kind of was going into what I wanted to was, I kind of feel like Garland knew about this before they raided Trump. Am I correct?
No, we know. They said that Biden's lawyers who had the documents, and by the way, does anyone know if Biden's lawyers have security clearance to see these documents and hold them? I don't know. There could be, but they turned them over to the Justice Department immediately, they said, as well as the archives. So Garland knew about this, yeah.
So and by the way, I've got a question. All the other hot spots we have in the world, and all the other crises, What's plural of
I don't know. You went to the fancy school.
Are we gonna? Everybody gonna put the world on hold while we work out our minor problems here? I mean, with all the international problems, the world on the verge of nuclear war, is everybody gonna just kind of?
Oh no! No, they're going to be on the move. Taiwan's going to be taken. You know, everything. It's all going to happen. It's going to be total chaos. Then Trump will come in and save the day.
What crisis is?
Crisis? PJ's gone. I let PJ go. You don't want PJ to call back, Steve. All right. What else you got, caller?
What I was going to bring up is I think the reason why, if they knew what was going on with Biden, I think they rated Trump just in a way to say, look, it's not just our guy that mishandled documents. You know, the Republicans do it too, and it's backfiring on them.
I'll tell you why they did it. Okay, the reason they raided Trump, okay, was a lot. There's a lot of reasons, but the reason that they've been after Trump and think that he's a crook is because they keep accusing Trump of doing what they're doing. This documents is a textbook example of it. Yeah, but Merrick Garland is nervous. That's why he appointed this special counsel yesterday. He's nervous.
This counsel he appointed is going to have to go after Merrick Garland too, because he knew about this before an election. He knew about this while
correct. Yep. He knew about it. He knew about it when he appointed the special counsel looking into Trump. Hey, listen, we got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
There's one opening on the board where that guy was. This is great stuff. Did you guys hear my stomach growling? I was just getting ready to do the Anne-Marie's commercial, and my stomach growls. I told you guys. Oh my goodness. Yes. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. You know, I was listening to the recorded commercial for Anne-Marie's during the break, and I had picked up my menu, and my stomach growled. You know, Steve, I try to do the Anne-Marie's commercials as late in the show as I possibly can, because I always get hungry every time we do them, and I can't eat until we get off the air, right? I know there's one thing you've not had at Anne-Marie's that you've got to have, Steve. We talk about the Italian favorites. Everything is homemade at Anne-Marie's, and they're spectacular. We talk about the wonderful pizzas and appetizers. But have you had the Philly cheesesteak from Anne-Marie's, Steve? Oh. You know, the Philly cheesesteak, I know it's hard to get off the Italian favorites, get off the pizza and the Sicilian and everything, because everything's so good, and homemade Italian food with grandma in the kitchen and all that. It's very hard to find, right? Only at Anne Marie's. But the Philly cheesesteak is the best Philly cheesesteak outside of Philly, I promise you. And like everything else, it comes in a massive portion. You get at least 2, maybe even 3 meals out of the Philly cheesesteak, and it is spectacular. And it's always on the menu: lunch, dinner, takeout, everything. It's really good. And so if you've not yet had the Philly, Steve, next time, get it. Get it. It comes in. All their subs are spectacular, but that Philly it's a signature dish. And it comes in 2 sizes, regular and giant. And the regular is pretty big. The giant is huge. And, of course, everything homemade at Anne Marie's. You'll just, try that ribeye, and then call me on the air, guys, and let me know about it, okay? You're going to love it. I'm getting hungry right now. Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road, in the same plaza as the movie theater. Also, don't forget, with Valentine's Day around the corner, great spot for a great romantic Valentine's dinner, Anne Marie's in Pompano. Let me give you the number, too, if you're interested in takeout or you want to call them about Valentine's Day. 954-889-6600. 954-889-6600. 6600. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, there's only one opening on our board at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's John. I'm calling from Boca Raton. Gentlemen, good morning. It's a fantastic Friday. I'm so happy there's aggravation going to the White House, aggravation that they put upon themselves. The only thing that hurts is the alternative. I hate thinking about Kamala Harris being our president. But it's so nice to see a press conference. They've never dealt with anything like this, Steve. Every day, President Trump had to deal with these press conferences and going out there. One day, they're falling apart. It's like a house of cards,
Well, let me tell you, people don't understand. They really don't understand what's happened here. The White House press corps are not in the business of going after a Democrat president. They're in the cover-up business of Democrat presidents. And what's been going on this week, both for Jean-Pierre and Biden, is unheard. The last time the press was like this is when the Lewinsky affair became public. And, yeah.
If I may, because I don't want to lose this Friday, you guys take any type of calls. I want to thank you guys once again. I've listened to this show since the mid-'80s, and my motto is the next sponsor that disappoints me from the Steve Kane Show will be the first. Thank you for introducing me to Dr. Appleton, Brian and Steve. I went in there last week. I had a knee problem. One session, I feel so much better. I brought my mother there yesterday. She has a problem with her right side or her arm. She's right-handed. She feels better. I mean, unbelievable. I never thought something like this could be so successful. It's amazing. And for people out there that are dealing with pain, believe me, there is an alternative. Go in there for the free consultation. FREE, free. You will lose. The only thing you'll lose is the pain that you're dealing with. Do not suffer. Go out there. Don't be a Democrat. Go into to see Dr. Appleton. It'll be the greatest visit of your life. Have a great weekend, guys.
Wow. That's some endorsement. Let me give Dr. Appleton's number since he called in. Dr. Appleton's open on Saturdays. Appointments aren't necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. We have great listeners. We really have great listeners to this program. For the most part. Yeah, we got a couple that are, a little shady. But for the most part, we've got some great listeners. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. Once, twice. Okay, that's one of the All right, now, I wanted to play something for you, Steve. I got some audio I haven't gotten to yet, and I know I played this one in the first hour, but this is an interesting one. Did you hear me play this thing with Andrea Mitchell earlier? Steve? Oh, this is great. Let me see if I have time to play it. Yes. Yes, I got just enough time. Andrea Mitchell, live on NBC yesterday, reprimanded the chief NBC News White House correspondent for using the term pro-life. Listen.
And the House's passage of 2 anti-abortion bills Wednesday, despite a majority of Americans saying abortion should be legal. Joining me now is NBC News senior Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Hake. We had Nancy Mace, of course, the Republican from South Carolina, on yesterday, and she spoke very, passionately about why she thought it was the wrong tone for her caucus to be pursuing this abortion legislation, and why it was unfair to women, especially women who've been subjected to rape or incest, or other forms of sexual violence. And she ended up voting for the abortion measures. Explain that.
Well, she told reporters after the fact that at the end of the day, she was, as she described herself, pro-life, and that she felt that it was important to vote for these measures despite their potentially politically damaging or politically unappealing appearance, if you will, for
Garrett,
future voters.
Let me just interrupt and say that...
Okay, now here it comes. Now listen. Now here it comes, Steve. Listen to this.
Unappealing appearance, if you will, for
Garrett,
future voters.
Let me just interrupt and say that pro-life is a term that that an entire group wants to use, but that is not an accurate description.
I'm using it because that's the term she used to describe herself, Andrea.
I understand.
Okay, and now there's this awkward silence between the two. This was live on MSNBC yesterday.
Garrett, let me just interrupt and say that pro-life is a term that that an entire group wants to use, but that is not an accurate description.
I'm using it because that's the term she used to describe herself, Andrea.
I understand.
Silence.
Anyway, that was her explanation. Let's talk about Congressman Santos now.
Wow, and you can tell that she was triggered hearing the term pro-life, Steve. There's only one thing that could trigger a woman like this when hearing pro-life, and when you see the video, Steve, she's shaking, her lip was quivering, she was freaking out on the inside. Yeah, that she's probably made the choice once. At least once. It's a very sensitive thing to her. She was really triggered with that. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was insane. And she reprimanded the guy live on the air. He's the chief congressional correspondent. And then you get this awkward silence between the two of them. That was, oh.
To take it sitting down, he retorted.
I would have thought when HD television came in 4K, she would have retired from television. HD 4K television is not Andrea Mitchell's friend. All right, we're late for the break.
Last night I was talking to my daughter, Courtney, who informed me that she was pregnant with her 4th child.
Oh my gosh.
And by the summer I'm gonna be a grandfather yet.
Oh my goodness, you got more grandkids than Mitt Romney. All right, listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. Yeah, okay. We're going to take a break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, let me see here. What else do I have?
Things, and make.
Oh yes, Paul Ryan. This guy's a real beaut. I will. Oh my gosh, I'm still getting messages from people about leaving the mic on during the break earlier. What the heck? My goodness. Oh my goodness. Make sure you like the video, everyone. Every once in a while, I got to take my hat off so people don't think I'm bald like Tim Pool. You know? What's the number? 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Toll-free call from anywhere. Oh, my personal phone number? Yeah, I'm still getting text messages from people. Someone said, oh, somebody I work with said you left your mic on during the break. I don't know if these people actually heard. The only part that was on, it was just for a few seconds when I was talking to you guys during the break. Yeah, someone I work with told me that you left your mic on during the break. I'm still getting messages. Too many people have my cell phone number. Like I said, I don't know if they actually heard it or just heard me talking about leaving it on. Get a Google number? I don't care now. As long as liberal Al the John doesn't get my number again, I don't mind. Conservative Doug has my number, and he sends me... like sometimes, Doug's probably in the chat room. He'll own up to this. Sometimes I'll like take a jab at Doug because his call's boring or something, and then he'll send me like a 500-word text message, you know, about what a jerk I am. He's moody. Let's see, which one do I want to play? Oh, I know what I want to play. I don't know if I can find it. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Congratulations on your 28th grandchild, Steve. Do you know how many grandchildren you have? You probably can't keep track. Okay, 13? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How many of the... Well, how many of your okay, let me see if I can throw you off on this one. How many of your grandchildren are black? Got to count. I know, it's good. 4 grandchildren are black, and the other 9 are white. Okay. What percent? Yeah, okay, so that's like 30% or something. So you're doing better than the general population with the breakdown. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, you have 7 kids. 3 are black. You know, I have 1 child. She's black. All my grandkids will be grandkids of color. And I just wonder what it's going to be like after I'm dead, like in 100 years, when my great-grandchildren, Steve's all broken up over it, when my great-great-grandchildren, who will be black, I've got 1 child and she's black, right? So all my whole legacy are going to be, you know, black descendants. When my great-great black grandchildren look back on the family album and they see granddad was a white guy with a MAGA hat on all the time, what are they going to think? You know what I mean? It's going to, because they're going to be, you know how it works. They're going to go to college and everything and get brainwashed in the liberalism. They're going to think MAGA's the Klan. So they're going to be like thinking, oh my goodness, our white granddaddy was a Trump guy. I don't know. It'll be out of my control, at that point. But I don't know. Hopefully they won't be brainwashed into thinking that. Yes. But you have so many grandkids, though. Your grandkids kind of, because you can't, like me, with my grandparents, with one set of my grandparents, I was the only grandkid. So I got I got the whole grandparents spoiled experience. You have 13, you can't, that's too many. You're spread too thin. Are you okay? Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good about yourself. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Great show. I just want to comment on the Andrea Mitchell reality check, and of course,
wow, yeah.
I love everything being spun around. With Andrea Mitchell, I guess I'll start there. My goodness, pro-life, it is what it is. But if you're not pro-life, you're what? Pro-death. So that's a little bit too harsh for them. So they have to sugarcoat it somehow. I'm amazed. But he handled himself well, and of course those documents. Come on. I guess it was a little bit too soon. I love the bickering on the view behind it, how they tried to defend that because they couldn't. Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll tell you, Andrea Mitchell's reaction was trauma. She was when he said pro-life, she was experiencing trauma by hearing that term. I know I played it a couple times and we're kind of, it's kind of sad. But if you go online and watch it, yeah.
Pro-life. Any one of us could have been non-existent if our parents weren't pro-life. It is a reality, and abortion, my goodness. I don't want to go there on this show, but yeah, I love it. So she needed that, and especially the view with the documents. They're so, I hate Trump, let's get him. But now here Biden, because I love this, thanks to the Steve Kane Show for the last 15 years, that's my debate. When someone mentions something negative about a conservative, a liberal, I'll immediately give them 5 things that one of their beloved Democrats has done the same thing.
Yeah.
Biden has doubled down on this document stuff that he went after Trump for, and now they don't know what to do. They're like, oh, wow, okay, gosh, they got us.
And I love how Joy Behar is. We almost had Trump. We were just about to finally get Trump, and then this happened.
But just when we had him.
Oh, my goodness.
That brings me back to the phone call. Here they left Trump for how long on that phone call? Meanwhile, they had audio of Biden bragging about the same thing about withholding funds because of his son's investigation. It's all there.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
It out to us on the air. And for those who don't really pay attention to this, it brings new light, and just such a double standard.
That's right. Hey, well, listen, appreciate the call. All right, take care. Now, Chris is a great guy. He's Black MAGA, by the way. Blacks for Trump. I was very wrong about Kevin McCarthy. Trump always was right. Kevin McCarthy, he had 2 moments with the press yesterday. This is stuff you can't fake. He's good. Let me play this clip. The press are going after him on Santos. And let me tell you, they're pushing hard, the Democrats, to get Santos to resign. I would rather have a lying Republican than any Democrat, okay? So Santos is fine. I stand with Santos. Finish out your term, run again. But listen to Kevin McCarthy with the press. He handled them like you've only seen Trump and DeSantis do this. Listen, this is Kevin McCarthy, the great Speaker of the House, handpicked by Trump yesterday.
Find the fundamental difference of me being a speaker and Nancy Pelosi. The other side will get to name their members on the committee. It won't be handpicked by me and denying the Democrats their voice. So whatever transpires out of that committee is work to Republicans and Democrats as we move forward. It's a fundamental difference.
With the Intelligence Committee, is it?
Why?
You said you're going to let Democrats appoint their own members to the committee, but you've also indicated you're not going to let them.
I was very clear early on.
Now listen to this. Here it is.
Let me phrase something very direct to you. If you got the briefing I got from the FBI, you wouldn't have Swalwell on any committee.
Now remember, Swalwell is the one that had the affair with Fang Fang, the Chinese CCP spy. Okay, listen to this.
Very clear early on. Let me phrase something very direct to you. If you got the briefing I got from the FBI, you wouldn't have Swalwell on any committee. And you're going to tell me other Democrats couldn't fill that slot? He cannot get a security clearance in the private sector. So would you like to give him a government clearance? You asked me questions about Santos. You asked the questions about Swalwell. Not only was he getting a clearance, he was inside an intel committee. He had more information than the majority of all the members. Did you ever raise that issue? No, but you should have. You're going to tell me there's 200 other Democrats that couldn't fill that slot, but they kept him on it? The only way that they even knew it came forward is when they went to nominate him to the Intel Committee. And then the FBI came and told the leadership then, he's got a problem. And they kept him on. That jeopardized all of us.
Wow. You know, you can't fake that. That's not, he's the real deal. You know, he's not out there going through the motions for Trump. Trump was right when he got behind Kevin McCarthy. I didn't see it before. I was wrong. So my apologies to Kevin McCarthy. Well, this is brilliant. I mean, you can't fake this. This isn't a guy going through the motions. He's a true believer. He's MAGA. Kevin McCarthy is MAGA.
You were so down on Kevin.
Well, I was wrong. I don't know, but he had another moment with the press I played earlier in the show. But that was beautiful. I mean, that's beautiful. Trump's always right. I didn't think Trump was really behind Kevin McCarthy, but now I know, hearing this, that he was. And now listen, we're going to take our last break of the week for the Gold Report with William Youngerman. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get back to our calls after the break. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game. But I think we brought up some pretty hot topics today that I hope you're interested in commenting on. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and each morning at this time, we check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
Metals looking very good, hitting another high overnight, breaking through the $1,900 level, which we did yesterday. Gold trading yesterday in a range of $1,874 all the way up to $1,903, and closing out the day up $20.20 to $1,896.70 the ounce. Silver was up 38 cents at $23.77. Silver still finding resistance at that $24 number, but we have gone through it and come back down just under it. Platinum unchanged at $1,067, and palladium closed up $20 at $1,720 the ounce. This morning we saw gold trade in a range overnight from $1,892 all the way up to $1,910. $1,910 should be some resistance. We'll see if they can push through that, or if we can close above $1,900 today. Right now, gold trading at about $1,900 the ounce. That's up $3.30. Silver down 12 cents at $23.65. Platinum down $17 right now at $1,050, and palladium down $50 at $1,670 the ounce. That's pretty much where we are at this moment.
Yeah, of course, William Youngerman, you don't just sell the metals, you buy them, and including jewelry. So if you have jewelry that maybe it's broken, maybe it's some old, ugly, out-of-style thing, of course people can walk in, you'll buy it from them, give them cash, but there's one thing you suggested a few times that I never occurred to me before. People can actually bring in their jewelry, whatever it is, and actually turn it into like an ounce of gold, or get coins of silver or something like this, so they can have that value, that stored value, and they know how much their metal's worth, right? And it's a good time to do that at these prices. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's pretty cool because you got this old, ugly jewelry that's gathering dust, broken earring, whatever it is. You take it in there, You get yourself a gold coin, some silver coins or something, and you can actually know what your medal is worth at all times. It's a pretty cool thing. William Youngerman is opened up weekdays at 10 a.m. He's located in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. You can find him online at williamyoungerman.com or give him a call toll free. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Okay, thank you. You too now.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve is here, and there's only one opening on our board where William Youngerman was at 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Mass. Good morning, Joe.
Hey.
Good morning.
Wanted to, good morning. It seems to me that I think Joe Biden's pudding pops have better security than these top secret documents. Where are they going to end up next at a rest stop someplace?
Well, with Hunter, who knows? And let me tell you, okay, we're kind of around on the edges here because there's so much going on and, phones are busy. This house, Hunter claims to own that house where these documents are, not Joe. He said that's his house. So that's even, come on. You got a guy that has, the only vice I've not heard that Hunter has is gambling. But any other vice known to man, he has.
I believe there's a very good chance he will resign. I'm not 100% on it, but I believe they want him to, or they certainly don't want him to announce that he's going to run. But
He's got no choice.
I think, the Democrat motto, their secret motto in their secret little club is basically never give up the lie, and it'll be.
They're gonna offer him. They're gonna offer him the option of going to jail or resigning. That'll be.
Yep.
And I don't think he's going to choose jail.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when it comes down to cold hard facts, because the only thing keeping him in is the Democrats. If they turn on him, like Brian was saying, Nixon.
Well, they've turned on him already. It's fait accompli.
Yeah. I believe. Yeah, the more I think about it, I think you're right. But one other thing, guys,
when they called in the special prosecutor, that was the message right there. When they called in the special prosecutor, they were saying that what Hunter had done was a criminal.
What Joe did. Yeah.
That Greg brought up.
Oh, yes.
Greg the Crotch. Is that going to be his new nickname, Greg the Crotch?
Nah, it's too crude. That's too crude. Really?
I remember the camera being down at your feet, Steve, and I was looking, and I'm almost positive you were wearing Mike Lindell slippers, and they looked really comfortable.
Oh.
Yeah, he was.
Step on your beautiful Mike Lindell slippers, and he was really upsetting me.
Well, I'll tell you what happened with that. Okay, and he was, we stood our ground until he had a pistol in his. It looked to me like he had a pistol under the shirt. He had an armed security guard behind him with a gun on his hip, and we stood our ground until he said, "Call the cops! You're trespassing. You got to get out of here." But what had happened with that is we had an appearance there. We had a massive, massive turnout. It was our first appearance in quite some time, other than our cruises. And everyone was wearing MAGA hats, and that guy just was triggered by the MAGA hats. And he was really creepy looking. He kind of looked like the leather guy from the Village People, and he had like this prison mustache that went down the side of his face, and it was just he was a real creeper, but he was very triggered by the MAGA hats. That's what drove. And you can see in that video, by the way, I know Greg's eyes were focused on that one area. But you can see his hands were shaking.
Yeah, that was just. when he called us the crotch, I'm like, what the hell was he looking at?
Obviously, I didn't show the guy's face for a reason.
I guess maybe, who knows?
Maybe is the type. Yeah. Okay. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, I want to play this other clip here. Paul Ryan, who's on the board of directors at Fox News, gave an interview with Jake Tapper on CNN talking about Trump yesterday. I wanted to play it for you guys, in particular you, Steve. Remember, Paul Ryan runs Fox News. He's on the board of directors. He's got a lot of juice over there, right? Listen.
He's fading fast. He's a proven loser. He cost us the House at 18.
Okay. Oh, but let me do a little more setup because I kind of that's Paul Ryan. He is Donald Trump. He's talking about.
He's fading fast. He's a proven loser. He cost us the House at 18. He cost us the White House in 20. He cost us the Senate again and again. And I think we all know that. And I think we're moving past Trump. I really think that's the case. I can't imagine him getting the nomination, frankly. And I don't mean this because I don't want him to get the nomination. I just don't think he will as an analytical point.
Okay, now, what was his role in losing the House in 2018, Paul Ryan? Wasn't he the speaker? This about Trump being a loser. Paul Ryan likes to say this all the time. Look what he's just done in the House of Representatives. Not just winning the majority, but we have a tough Speaker of the House. Yesterday, Kevin McCarthy is talking about releasing all of the January 6th footage and information, all the video and all of the documents. We've got a very tough Speaker of the House and a very tough Congress. He's even standing up for Santos. So this idea that Trump's a loser, we have the most powerful conservative House we've ever had. We may not have the numbers that we would like to have. We still got the majority, but the number we have are tough, stand-up conservatives. We've never had that before. Even, it's amazing. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I can hear myself in the background. Yes.
Hey, Brian, God bless the two of you. There isn't anybody in your audience who can't say they had a miserable couple of days in the last couple of years. And every day you say, God bless America, God bless Trump. Well, I think it's time you end the show saying, hallelujah, God bless God. Thank you, God, for only he could have pulled. Every day you come on the air and you've got a bag full of good news, and you know how to tell it. And you and Steve have been wonderful. And God bless you. God bless your families. You made my year. I'm 92, and I'll tell you, this is the happiest time that I can remember in the last couple of years.
Well, that's awesome. Well, welcome. Welcome. Well, welcome. Thanks for calling. That's Doris, the tent lady. And it's always good to hear from her because, some of our... That's right. She's a good lady. She's a good lady. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Berta from Texas. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Berta. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Well, Brian, I got to disagree with you on McCarthy. Got to disagree with you. He's a snake. He's no good. But like my husband explained it to me because I was upset. Trump is he thinks about strategies, right? He said that the Art of War, that I had to read it to get into it and everything. But he said that he's putting all his chess pieces in place. And he needs the McCarthy and the 200 and some Republicans following him. Now McCarthy owes him when he runs for president. It's all Washington.
Well, okay, Berta, let me tell you. Listen, I don't, I was wrong about McCarthy. I think you are. Let me tell you why, okay? Obviously, McCarthy owes everything he has today to Donald Trump, and that's a good thing. But the way he had a couple moments with the press yesterday. There were three. I played two. The one I just played was about Swalwell. The other one about the documents, and then there was another moment with the press yesterday on the January 6th video. You can't fake that. That's not a guy going through all right, I owe Trump, I got to go out, yay, mag. He's passionate. You can't fake that. That's real. I believe he's the real deal. Trump was right about him, and I've been wrong about him for a long time. I think the more you hear him talk, you'll come around. It's hard to admit you were wrong.
You know how you are, what you say once, a never Trumper, always a never Trumper? Once I find crooked deeds that these Republicans do, they're dead for me, you know? Trump is so smart. I can't, you know.
Oh, well, that's for sure.
He's sitting. He's like my husband says, Bertie. He's thinking the strategy before it happens. He's putting all his chess pieces in place because one thing Trump knows, he's going to need them when it comes time. And it's true. You have to play Washington politics sometimes, right? And that's now McCarthy owes Trump big time. And you know what? That's okay. But if McCarthy's not a snake, nope.
Well, Berta, I'm gonna disagree with you on McCarthy. Time will tell, but I think I'll be proven right on McCarthy. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Oh, I want to mention real quick. JJ said in the video when we were being thrown out by men with guns from a personal appearance. I mean, my goodness. I mean, you know, you were wearing your My Pillow, My Slippers, and let me tell you. There is a special going on right now on the My Pillow, My Slippers that's out of this world. They're under $50. Oh my! How many pairs of My Pillow, My Slippers do you have now?
This will be my third. I wanted the ones in green.
Okay.
For them to come in my size.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're like the Imelda Marcus of the My Pillow, My Slippers. But hey, listen. Only 3 pairs. They're $90 off. Under $50 a pair. They come in a bunch of new colors and new sizes. They have smaller sizes than they've ever had before, sizes small enough for children, but they also have larger sizes and the wide sizes now in the My Pillow, My Slippers. They're under $50, $90 off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. They make great Valentine's Day gifts. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. And remember, you can take advantage of all the specials there with the promo code KANE, not just the ones we talk about. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is John Okeechobee.
Hey, John.
Hey, John, what's up?
McCarthy's gone through a great change. He was scared to death by the hardcore people. Change in the Congress. And I think McCarthy's sort of, I'm not sure we can trust him yet, but he's joined us. He's been good yesterday, though.
Yeah, he did great yesterday. I would say thank you for the call, John. John's out of breath. You know, it's good to hear from you, John, and you sound like you're doing much better than the last time we talked, so that's good news. McCarthy was talking like DeSantis and Trump yesterday. I don't think that could be faked. I just don't. I haven't really heard him talk too much. Certainly haven't heard him get involved. Well, we're all out of time for the week, but listen, if you miss a part of the show, you can go to our radio station website. About an hour after the show every day, the entire show is uploaded there in podcast form. Okay? It's trueoldiesfla.com. trueoldiesfla.com. Maybe you called in and you want to hear your call or play your call to your friends. You can even download the show there. trueoldiesfla.com. And the shows are archived up there forever, too. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve has been here. And, of course, God bless America and God bless the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. We'll see you on Monday. Take care. Have a great weekend.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys. I'll see you soon, all right? Take care.